Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode where we will be covering how you can post on behalf of someone else in Yammer end-to-end encryption for Teams calling, and how you can now edit in SharePoint page and news post in Microsoft Teams. Let's roll it. Oh, we're having fun here today. I hope you are as well. Hello, Darrell.
Daniel, I'm disappointed that you didn't sing that intro.
Yeah, so last week, for those that have been paying attention and watched the show, last week, Darrell sang the intro. But that ain't going to be happening around here in these parts very often.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. So this week, we have some awesome messages and some odd messages that we will tell you about. So I think this is kind of our last go at it when talking about we'd like to make you part, you the listener, part of our 200th episode. That's just 2 episodes away. So if you would like to be part of our 200 episode, then please send a link to a video like you've put in OneDrive, or send the video itself to the email address 200@365mcs.com, and we would love to see that and help or allow you to help celebrate that. That would be awesome if you could send that in. We'd enjoy seeing those videos. We've got quite a few, and it's so great to see so many people who really get some value out of the show. So would love to see those.
Yeah, I've been quite chuffed and touched in a way too, listening to some of the things that have been said. So it's really cool.
Yeah, most certainly. All right, Darrell, you are up with our first message this week.
Yes, I am. Look, let's start editing SharePoint pages from within Microsoft Teams, because we can do everything else from within Microsoft Teams. This is MC 259302. That didn't sound, I didn't mean it to sound snarky. All I meant was, like, we open up a document, we open up something else, we can do that within Teams. Now we can do a editing of SharePoint pages. So this is useful, right? If you've pinned something to a channel and you've, tried to bring through some content, and maybe you want people to be able to edit that content directly from Teams, then this is great. We see a few screenshots there on the screen that this is a possibility and how you can do it. You'll see if you take a closer look at the image that Daniel's showing, you can see it is the general channel. There is a page that has been pinned there, and they're in an edit mode because they've got the web part picker up and open. So this is going to be useful for making quick changes to the page. I guess you could do a full page edit if you wanted to as well. I would suggest, I think they've got that there. In the screenshot, you can click edit and go straight into edit mode. There seems to be something a little trimmed off in the crop, but I often, when there's an application that's been pinned, I also use the arrows to full screen it within Teams if I'm going to do it completely in Teams. But yeah, useful. Maybe people will just open it up in online and use a fuller browser. Would you use this, Daniel?
Yeah, I would use it. I think it is useful if you want to make those edits. It's interesting to see the evolution of SharePoint in that, we have gone from having to, go to a site in SharePoint and do edits and add content. And now in Teams, you can pretty much now, make edits and create that content or add that content to pages and upload documents and stuff. So just kind of that work, make it available where you work. So, I probably will use it, but it won't be my main editing, right?
Yeah, it's much like when we're editing Office documents. I'll use it for quick changes. I'll use it for reviewing because I do find it useful when you have comments that have been made about a document, or they've you turned on track changes, and then you've got your conversation down the side, so you can kind of keep talking about stuff as you're working on the document. Same thing. I mean, you could open up a conversation about the tab and talk about things and edit the page. But yeah, so anyway, let's see how this lands with the community. It's going to be rolling out early June, so that would be nowish.
Mm-hmm.
And expect a full rollout by mid-June, so that'll be soonish, not too far away. So maybe in a week or two's time, we might even see this as a callback.
Maybe.
We'll see how quickly it's delivered.
We'll see. We'll see.
Daniel?
Yes.
Daniel, look, we've done something different this time. I've done a SharePoint message, and, I usually do the Yammer messages, but passing this one over to you. Take it away.
Yes, which is appropriate for you to pass this one on, because it's kind of about, passing on the ability to post on behalf of capability coming to Yammer, MC259330. And this is that, I think, familiar process that a lot of people have seen in other products, where you can delegate to someone to post as you. And it's something that, like SharePoint news, people have been, they like that capability of being able to say, oh, I'm somebody else, and so there's third parties have been doing this for a while for SharePoint news as well. And so this is that, hey, I've got someone that I want to say they're going to post, and maybe it's my editor. Maybe I create a post and I send it to them to edit because I'm terrible at grammar and spelling, and so I want them to take care of that. But, this really for me is targeting those leadership, positions that, most of the time are just focusing on, leading, and leave the communicating to other people, or at least, crafting the message. But so this is rolling out late June. Expect the rollout to be completed in late July. And there has been some talk, about and I think this was announced 2 Ignites ago or something like that. So
about that.
Yeah, it's been a while. And it'll allow anyone to select a delegate. So, this isn't just C-suite type people. It could be anyone. But this did kick up some harsh feelings, not harsh maybe, but strong feelings. That's what I want to say. From some people who think, hey, even leaders should be engaged. They should be writing their own content. This is Yammer. This is a social network. This is not the official blog posts of, or official emails. But some organizations use that, Yammer, as that, right? Not their CEO is not in there responding to replies all day long, So it is something that I think some will really, get strong feelings about this in a negative way, but so don't use it. But, I think I really do think there's going to be a lot of leaders that use this as soon as they figure it out. So change managers, it's up to you to let them know it's a possibility. Darrell, what do you think? Do you like this feature?
I think those that kind of already have this arrangement where they don't have time to make this post and they want an executive assistant or a communications manager to do this on their behalf have probably been handing over their credentials.
What?
And an update like this is going to make security people happy because it's proper delegation, much like when you delegate access to a mailbox. Yeah, it is done via permissions and correctly through the product. Yeah. But yeah, like as some of the community has said, it kind of takes away from that authenticity of, Yammer is for authentic interaction. And, if you're a leader, we don't expect you to respond to all of the 300 messages that you got, but it would be cool to see some genuine responses to maybe 5 of them. But yeah, people have got different ways of using their time. So yeah, well, interesting.
I have seen executive assistants going and sitting down with the at the time it was a president of an organization I worked for, and
Mm-hmm.
the admin assistant actually went into the website on their computer, on the president's computer, and said, okay, what do you want to say? And then typed it out for them. And it was an email. And it's like, there's other ways to do this. Let's talk about how we could do this in a different way. But it's similar. I think people find ways to get it done, right? And this, you're right, helps in the security way. So there's no passwords being shared, or here's, sit down at my computer and do it while I go to meet in a meeting or something. No, let's not do that anymore. Okay. So you did a SharePoint one.
Yep. And then you did a Yammer one.
SharePoint Teams, but SharePoint. I did a Yammer. How about you bring all of that together and do a Yammer and SharePoint one?
Yeah, look, and I'll even throw in an old tag that just lets you know that this isn't just Yammer for pleasure or SharePoint for pleasure. It is SharePoint for business. Yammer and SharePoint for business. Brackets. What do they call them? Square brackets when the editor adds something in that isn't actually in the title. So let's just, what? SharePoint for business? Yammer Conversations Web Part version 3. MC 259501. Yes, we're having a good chuckle because SharePoint is for business. I mean, it could be for education too, but I haven't heard it used in any other sense. What is this all about? It is apart from the poor title, it is a good update to the Yammer web part. So what will be added is a new horizontal layout, which will help to showcase different kinds of conversations with Yammer. The community type conversations, topics, there's a new filter there that will bring through even question and answer type conversations as well. So that's cool to be able to showcase those. And might I say too, like you've got two versions of Yammer web parts. You've got one that you can bring through and it actually shows live conversations and you can interact with these. This is more about the highlights web part and adding more functionality to that. So yes, Daniel's got them on screen. They're looking pretty good. You'll be able to click through and interact with the conversation, not live on the page like the other web part, but it's good to see this getting an update, even if it is poorly titled.
Well, Darrell, I don't know if you remember, there was a product that was basically announced via a poorly titled message, and it threw people into a frenzy. What is this? People were freaking out. Is this a new SKU? Is this a new license we have to get? What is going on? I mean, there were blog posts in international magazines about this, and we even got mentioned in it. So do you remember what that product was?
Was that like Teams for Business?
No, it was Teams Pro.
Oh, Teams Pro.
Yeah,
right.
Teams Pro.
Yeah.
So people, there's not a new SKU. This is not a new license, SharePoint for Business. It's just the person who titled this had a hiccup in their brain or something.
Yeah.
So,
well, it is arriving mid-June, rolling out, fully completed by late June. Just go looking for that new Yammer web part and you'll be able to have a few more choices to highlight content. That's probably the simplest way to describe it. We are going to, later on, have a similar challenge of simplifying a message. I'm looking forward to coming up to this one. Where is it?
Oh, yeah. You're looking forward to it, huh?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, but tell us about this other thing, Daniel, that is changing. Maybe it's going to be a fond farewell for some people.
Yeah, so this says updated. It was updated from when it was announced until now, so in this past week. So support for tenant background images in the navigation bar is being retired. MC 259297. So this is the bar at the top in Microsoft 365. The navigation bar allowed us to put a background image in it. That was part of the branding that you could do. Well, now you're not going to be able to. So they're going to remove that option from within Microsoft 365 and instead recommend that you go and do more with organizational theming. So basically, if you don't use the background image in the bar, then you don't need to worry about this. But if you do, then they're going to remove it. So the update is end of June. So we only have, a few weeks here, to make plans, but it's not like you can change it to say, oh, I want to keep it or anything like that. So you're going to have to make do with it not being there. And that's it. That's what this message is all about. Do you have organizations that use the background for that bar?
Not really. I mean, it kind of was used early on as a more extensive way to brand up things, and there were some images that were available out of the box, but no.
Yeah, it's so skinny that it's really difficult to make use of it, and I feel like organizations, marketing people are going to hate this, but I feel like we need to get over this whole, we need to brand everything and make it look like we developed it, basically. Like, I think we need to get over that. We're using this, it's a software as a service. We haven't bought it. It is something we use and it's great, but, let's be satisfied with some colors and our own apps we can, pin, but let's get over using a background image in that app bar because, well, you don't get to use it anymore. So, I mentioned this in the intro, this brand new feature of end-to-end encryption. Darrell, will you please tell us all about it? Pretty please.
All about it? I mean, I can tell you something about it, but not all about it. So end-to-end encryption for Teams calling at CMC 259495. Some of you might think, what? Our calls are not encrypted already? Huh? That would be my first reaction. Does that mean that my calls today, before this feature rolled out, have not been encrypted and people can go in and check it out? Anyway, so end-to-end encryption is going to be applied to Teams calls, voice over IP calls, ad hoc one-to-one calls. Admins need to do a few things to make sure that it is in place, so you can have a new policy that will allow you to add those parameters. So get used to this acronym E2EE, end-to-end encryption. Feels like IEEE, the
engineering
acronym for
society.
Yeah. End users, if allowed by the admin, will see the option. It'll be off by default, but when switched on, they can switch it on. And the end-to-end encryption will only support basic calling features like audio, video, screen sharing, chat. Advanced features like call escalation, transfers, and recording will not be available. So it's really just one-to-one calls and me thinking, let's put on the cone of silence and make sure that there are less chances, less opportunity for people to crack in and listen to my call. But if you then want to take that call and transfer it to someone or record it or merge it, all those different kinds of things need to be able to see inside the call and do something with it. And if you're encrypting it, then you won't be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's it. There's a few things that you need to do to prepare. First release will only support basic calling features, which we've just said. The end-to-end encryption will work when both callers and receivers have enabled end-to-end encryption. So I can turn it on, or I would like to turn it on, but if Daniel doesn't have it available, then it's not going to encrypt because it would be my end but not his end. So that's not end-to-end then, is it? Okay, well, let's stop
I feel like that implementation is. I have a feeling that it's going to change. I just feel like if I'm an admin and I say I want to enable this for the tenant or even just for the users, I feel like it should just do it by default. Users shouldn't have to say, "Oh yes, I want to encrypt this end to end." It should just do it. If it's even with some education, I don't know that users are going to do this when it's enabled, because a call should just be a call. You click on somebody's name and you say call. Why? Okay, now I got to remember. I need to turn on encryption for all my calls.
That's right. Daniel, I have a purpose for talking to you right now, which is just quite basic and, you know, quite friendly and all. But now I need to elevate my call to put on the cone of silence. Don't think you can do that. It's got to be done at the beginning of the call too. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Darrell, it has come now to the time of the show for us to have, yes, actionable items in Microsoft Search, MC 259919. So it says we're rolling out actionable items to Microsoft Search, which you can find, you could probably figure out by the title of the message that that's what they're doing. After this change, search results will be supplemented with an assistive action menu providing. Oh, there's a period there. Okay, let's keep going. We're rolling out actionable items to Microsoft Search. Wasn't that already said? And it's in the title? Okay.
Well, no, repeating it means that it's really in there now.
Now we know. We'll remember this. It's like repeating phone numbers on a radio ad. After this change, search results will be supplemented with, we just read this too, with an assistive action menu providing opens to open results in the browser or client, download, share, or copy links to search results to help with task completion. I need help reading this, not just with task completion.
I feel like I've just gone into a courtroom and there's this legal sentence that's about 700 words long with no period in sight.
Let's figure out what this is. So what I just clicked on the roadmap item.
Oh, good move.
Which is 70700. Microsoft Search, actionable items in search. I'm going to read this to you and see if you can figure it out better than what I just read. A new action menu with search results, will allow an item not only to be opened in the web experience, but directly opened in the client application, downloaded, shared, or copy the link to the item.
Great. I understand that.
I do too. And so, okay, everyone knows we don't normally read messages on this show. That's not the point. You can read the messages. But we were making a little bit a different point here, is that message is totally confusing. Especially I'm going to switch back because you look at the message and yes, that's the paragraph. It's kind of wonky. All right, let's move on to see if we can get the point. No, there is what?
That's it.
There's no point.
Even better, Daniel. There's no impact. There's no impact as a result of this change. What does that mean?
There's no impact. So why is this even a message if there's no impact? Anyway, so this message is totally confusing, but go to the roadmap item, and it basically means when you do a search, you're going to be able to not only just click on it and open it. Like normally, if you find a Word document, you click on it, it opens it up, right? Well, no, we're going to have a menu to say, oh, I want to open this up in the application, like Word on my, Word for Windows. Or I'm going to be able to say, I want to share this directly from the search result. I want to share this. Or I want to copy the link to it so I can email it off or send it in a Teams message or something. Or I want to download it. I don't want to open it. I just want to download this thing. That's the thing I was looking for. It's, for me, that's a great feature. I love that. I love having flexibility, not having to open it up and then share, or open it up and then copy the link. I don't want to do any of that. If I want to, do those things, then great. I don't want to have to open it first. This is a great update. Bad message. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I agree. I will caution, if you are going to use this, though, you're probably looking for something that you already know what the item is. So if you are going to send it off straight away to someone or download it or whatever, you already know what it is.
I feel like this is the well, let's use Bing. This is the let me Bing that for you functionality, where people go, I can't find the thing, and you go and do a search and you find the thing, obviously, because you're the guru of search, and you go copy, paste into the Teams chat. Here it is. Anyway, that's one way of using this. I just, yes, more choices when I find those results. You don't always want to open it, is all, right? Sometimes you want a link so you can paste it into a news item. You're posting a news item. I need the link to it. I don't need the thing. I need the link to it. So that's, anyway, we rewrote it by just taking the text of the roadmap and paste it right in there.
We can stick with search on this next one for the quick mentions.
Yeah, let's go to quick mentions. Stay with search.
This one is search across images with Microsoft Search. So I do like to see messages around Microsoft Search improving. This is a basic thing, but it's good. MC259920 rolling out an image search to Microsoft Search. So when you go to search something, you'll have the all results. You can refine down to documents, etc. You'll now have a refiner, or what they're calling a search vertical, for images. So that will give you just a focus down on all the images and match your search string. This is going to be rolling out mid-June, expected to be completed late June for targeted release, entire organization. Standard release will not see it till late June and expect to see it mid-July. Again, this is a message where it says there's no impact, but I would say that's a reasonable impact.
It doesn't change the functionality. Really, it doesn't change the functionality that's there already. It's just giving you a new thing. So, yeah, maybe it's not a impact.
No change impact.
Right. No change impact. But it does impact because I think people will start using this. And that's why they developed the feature, hopefully. The next one is Teams meeting invite recipients limit from Outlook. I don't like limits, Darrell. MC259845. So basically, the limit is huge. If you want to send a Teams invite when you're in Outlook to more than 750 recipients, then you can't. And if you're doing that, then we need to talk. So this will be rolling out the beginning of late June. Okay. And when is that actually?
No, I wonder. Beginning in late June?
Rolling out this change beginning in late June.
Yeah.
Wow, I read that wrong. Sorry. And expect, I was like, when is the beginning of late June? And expect to complete by late August. So it's taken a while to roll this out, but it is, and that's because they're having to push it out to the client. This is the Outlook client.
When you go to invite a distribution group to a Teams meeting, that group could be 1,000 people or more.
Well, that's what they're saying.
It's going to be affected, right?
Yeah. Well, they're saying you can use a distribution list to get around this. So you just use a distribution list and it'll work, right? But if you're trying to individually add 750 people, 50 emails, I've never sent an email with 750 or more. I don't know who has, but if you have, then
mail merge maybe.
Maybe, but isn't a mail merge sends individual ones?
And it wouldn't send an invite to a Teams meeting, would it?
So anyway, so this will be changing, like I said, late June through late August as it rolls out to your clients. This was a nice one. I don't know who uses this, but you won't be able to use it anyway. All right. So the last quick mention, Darrell, it's all about Teams Mobile.
Yes. Teams Mobile large gallery in meetings update MC259500. In Teams Mobile Client, you'll be able to view a whole lot more people. So at the moment, it's limited to, is it 10 or 8,
I don't
whatever it
remember.
is.
Yeah.
That's all you see. It's not like you can, swipe things and do things to try and see a larger audience. We don't have together mode on mobile, do we? Don't think we do. No. So this will allow you to see up to 10 people who have their video feed turned on. And as you swipe, you can see the next 10 and the next 10. I think that the people who have spoken most recently will be, of course, on the first screen. So those sort of order will shuffle around. But if you need to swipe along to see who else is in the meeting, look for different reactions, you'll be able to see more people. The device compatibility, so this is one to note. It's available for iOS 13 Plus and Android OS 9, and any version with more than 4 gigs of RAM. As you can imagine, having this many video feeds coming through onto your mobile phone, it's going to take a bit of RAM memory to process that through. But yeah, a good feature if you want to just swipe through and see who's in the meeting and see real people rather than just names. So that's about it, Daniel. That's about it. We didn't have any callback, did we?
No, we didn't have a callback. We've had quite a few items slip with the timing, but that's okay. We will catch them when they roll out. I will say one thing we covered, and maybe that should have been the callback, but is I can't demo it. But we talked about the ability to have multiple videos in a Teams meeting in the browser. I had the experience this past week, and it was great. I loved it. I'm like, I'm in a browser. I'm seeing 3 people at the same time. This is amazing. Mind blown. Anyway. So, again, last time we'll probably mention this because we need to put together some things, is that if you'd like to be part of our 200th episode, please send a video saying your name and why you watch the show, how it's helpful, to the email address 200@365mcs.com. Send a link to the OneDrive share link, or send the video if it's small enough to that email address, and we'd love to hear from you and have you be part of our celebration of our 200th episode. And also make sure to follow us on socials, on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter at 365MCS. Anything else we need to mention, Darrell?
All the best for yourself and others that are going to the Microsoft 365 conference in Orlando. One of the first to again host real people together. There's a mix of in person and hybrid, but have a great time.
Yeah, it should be a great time, and I look forward to seeing all of those that watch the show there, that can be there this week. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will catch you next week. Bye-bye for now.